Flames having the advantage in that final fight, surely, since they were able to catch out KO with the Zera Aura pull, but still, Peru Unite finding a way to push past that.
Oh, I feel like, honestly, Aegis were ahead the entire game in every single situation, but that Rayquaza fight was one of the most chaotic, unpredictable Rayquaza fights I've ever seen. I believe I just said it just every player was on top of everybody else, and there were just a bunch of AoEs going, which is exactly what it was. I don't think anybody really had a read on what exactly was going to happen in that situation, because there honestly is a similarity, or was a similarity, in both of the comps that we just saw, where there was a lot of AoE damage and a lot of melee and a lot of punishing people sticking together. Unfortunately, when everybody's all sticking together all in one place that happens to be on top of the main objective, something's going to hit it, whether you want it to or not.
Yeah, but the problem is, if you're all focused on that, you're not focusing on the outside threat, which is that Armarouge, right, who is outside of that melee, is a little bit out of danger, which normally this build of Armarouge loves to be in the thick of it. That Armarouge loves to be playing in the mix, but Zainu's very smartly knowing that their Unite move is a gigantic burst of damage, can play around that, or even their side shot, whatever they need to throw at the Ray to ensure their team getting that Pokemon. I mean, what a play. Things got real dangerous, and the fact they were able to make it to the goal zone and Buzzwole couldn't break the shield. I mean, we're talking about this match being won in millimeters, not miles.
Literally the startup of the move happened, and it looked like they were getting the dunk off. It just didn't quite happen, but as close as that one was, I feel like this could go to a game 3 for sure, but I'm sure Peru doesn't want that. We're going to be starting off with a very same bans, it looks like, from both sides.
All right, we're going to be running it back. I do think that Zera Aura was phenomenal for Aegis Flames again in game number 1, so Peru Unite I guess we're all hoping they're not going to be punished by the hubris a little bit in this situation, but they do have the 1-0 score lead. There is the Buzzwole on the other side yet again. Dragon could try to steal away the Snorlax and pick it up for their own side. However, the Mamoswine, being the on-paper counter for the future Zera Aura pick, does feel like the wise decision here.
We may actually not even get the Zera Aura pick, though. Matt's already picking up this Buzzwole. Obviously, they can switch, but we did see Matt's go to Buzzwole in a lot of the games where Zera Aura was banned. So it may be one of those decisions where it's like, okay, let's go for something else. And honestly, the Zera Aura, while it didn't look bad, it certainly didn't look quite as dominant as it did in a lot of the other games that we've seen so far this weekend. So maybe they're just going for a different idea.
Yeah, they could be. I mean, I was pretty, my jaw hit the floor when they pulled KO in with that crazy pull right at the start of that Ray fight. So, I mean, I guess I don't need a whole lot of evidence to cheer for the Zera Aura. I'm a bit of an easy laugh in that way, I suppose, but it looks like Aegis Flames is going to be hovering almost the exact same, the exact same 5 Pokemon will be locked in place. Peru Unite kind of doing the same thing. So this has been a really fun screen where we're just kind of doing the exact identical thing. Tempo was Lucario in a match previous. This is going to be their one chance to change up the composition from the former 5. Currently, they're hovering the Zarina, and they did not change anything. It is Lucario. This is not a replay. It is not a pre-record. This is game number 2.
That was an opportunity for them to make me look smart by going... Unfortunately, they instead made me look stupid, which I usually do to myself, but we'll take it here. No, honestly, I still do feel like Zarina would be really, really strong in this comp as opposed to the Lucario, but they feel comfortable, and I mean... If you feel comfortable, that means a whole lot. You know, if there's stuff you don't have to worry about, if you don't have to worry about changing up your strategy, that can leave you able to kind of adapt more and talk about different ideas more. There's only so much time you have to actually think in a game. But the full repeat is really interesting.
Yeah, and listen, Lucario does have some solid counterplay into Buzzwole. Buzzwole's best part of its kit is kind of that full combo it can extend on you. Lucario, one of those unique all-rounders that does have very easy access to an unstoppable in that power-up punch, right? So you're able to just trigger the charge of that move, kind of avoid a lot of Buzzwole's charge attacks, potentially even the Saralith, but like still, some big moments there that we're looking for, as well as Lucario, I think uniquely does have a stronger pace to that level 5 than Buzzwole will.
Yeah, that certainly is the biggest advantage, I think. And that's
totally.
actually, you know, I was just speaking to some of the other casters in the green room, and we came to that decision as well, that the big advantage for Lucario is the very, very early game. But here we go. Aegis Flames on their last life. They were ahead last game, but they've got to make it now 2 in a row. Peru Unite looking to move into the top 4.
Yeah, I can already hear the crowd losing their minds for this Aegis Flame squad, the heroes of this team. But here we go, that promised fact. This UCS 25-5 season, we have seen a total of 5,862 games on and off stream. And in those, over 23,000 hats have been witnessed. So shout out to the Hollowware with hats. We know it's a certain content Cowboys favorite, and good to see it's a favorite of the players as well.
Of course, hats, most important thing in this game. But
absolutely.
Right now, I don't know if we have any hats in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Zero Aura has a cowboy hat on one of its Hollowware, so crazy work from Matt Z to not be equipping that one. So far, so good for them. They got 10 points in pocket for both the Pokemon and Path, mostly because we do have an absent attacker, as we do have a split of the central area from Peru Unite, and then we'll be carrying the red buff, and I believe that will be Zainus with the blue buff.
The direction that they're going to choose to go is going to be mostly top this time. We've seen a lot of teams really crashing bottom. Right now, Onemo getting hurt really bad. Has been really good at escaping, but imagine even with the eject button to escape, or I guess you'd say against an eject button.
Yeah.
Great support from the team, but hey, you know, you've got a lot of help right there with that little Clefairy. And on the other side, wow, we had a really, really far push from the side of Peru Unite. Draken maybe being punished a little bit for it, and Matt's already getting that KO.
Yeah, I mean, now is the time. If you're looking for any kind of stacks, push forward. We don't have access to Hyperspace Hole quite yet. I think Hoopa just getting to that level 4 previously, so you don't have that quick defense you're worried about. You have to rotate down the old-fashioned way. Zainus doing a great job of defending this Goal Zone Fire Spin with that huge area of effect. Makes it very easy to prevent enemy teams from scoring even small amounts of points. So solid work from Peru Unite. They hold on to a very tiny lead. We're really going to start seeing the game shift around this 8-minute mark here, as the middle birds being dominated by Peru Unite.
Yeah, looks like they're already gone. Matt's going a little bit far right there in that last engagement, by the way. Really wanted to find that KO, but unfortunately we saw the rotation down, and it was a lot of experience for a lot of people who really wanted experience, and so that's going to be a nice little early boost for the side of Peru Unite. You can see they've already got a couple level 7s, only one level 7 on the side of Aegis Flames. Looks like an attempt here maybe for an ambush. Yeah. That is a scary set of Pokemon to try and ambush you. Still a Clefairy right now. Tempo only has a little bit of help, not nearly enough. Finally, though, Onemo coming up with the Leafeon. That's going to be a huge chunk of damage on everybody. But, oh, not if you're the one who gets dunked there. Again, managed to sneak out just barely, picking up both berries in a row, finally getting KO'd. A ton of points in this top tier 1. Draken coming back to push, but probably going to get KO'd themselves. Yeah, not that much damage to support them. And I think eventually we're going to have to see Peru give this up. Well, I think they're taking relatively uncontested the basic red.
Yeah, that as well as Kea, I think, on the other tier 1 of the same path, going worthy sacrifice, as I will stack up my special attack specs. So I may not be able to save you now, but my Moonlight Healing will save you truly later.
yeah, eventually. And wow, okay, they do manage to take this. There was a little bit of a turnaround here as Peru sent a lot of members up top for that Regieleki. It seemed like it could have been pretty easy for Aegis Flames to take it, but they are now on bottom. There was a big like rotation around from both sides.
And just now we witnessed kind of that Ceruledge soft counter with the Armarouge. So Zainus does have the full heal equipped. So the Ceruledge Unite does cut through the Armarouge, leaves that huge mark that'll explode momentarily after. But it was cleansed with Armarouge as a full heal as they just kind of walk back to their base. So it's a long cooldown on that battle item though. So you got to watch out. Maybe they can find a way to expose the, lack of battle item from Zainus a little bit later.
Yeah, there are a good amount of things that you could potentially want to try and use full heal on the Aegis Flames team. Yeah. A little bit of crowd control from pretty much everybody. Nobody's really all that pure damage, so we'll see if they end up making it come into play. The pull attempted, not going to land this time. Zaina's safe for the moment. That certainly would have been a situation you could not have gotten out of.
Yeah, a nasty Volt Switch angle as well, so far, and right on the enemy goal zone. Like, even if there is a Unite move to contend with, I don't think Zainus is walking out of that one scot-free. They are posturing for a fight here on the bottom side, and there is that pull. Heavy slam to follow immediately after. Zainus is able to walk away, though, with that unstoppable.
Yeah, and I mean, Clefable healing is now at a hugely significant power level, so you can see how fast that managed to heal them back up. I believe that we probably need to combo something like the Buzzwole to land another crowd control. They really wanted that to happen. Oh no, an attempt at a pull, but they get caught out, and Matt's gonna go down. Maybe another follow-up KO here onto Snorlax. This is gonna be a tough situation. This is also opening the door for them to push down this tier 1 gold zone, and yeah, they're certainly gonna break this as soon as possible. They managed to get a big overdunk this time as well, but with the Hoopa on board, that is a big win for them.
Follow me repositioning Zeraora for which is actually diabolical. Okay, Kaya's setting up some really nasty situations for Aegis Flames to have to play around. It seems like in this one, though, all they're going to be doing is setting up for a retreat, as everyone's got to bail and rally for this goal zone defense. 48 remaining. Draken taken away. Unite move to try to respond. They have a lot of HP, but that's absolutely blown up by the Sarah Ledge.
Yeah, the Sarah Ledge's Unites have been landing extremely well. They're going to continue the push. We're going to see Anemo very, very low, but standing in the back line, able to still pick off Zeraora, and there's just not enough damage left. I mean, we do see Games here trying to follow up as many as possibly can, but there's just too many. That's going to be a full team wipe for Peru Unite. They are now the ones that are way far ahead in this game, almost about as much as their opponents were in the last game. I feel like the levels are similar, the points are similar. Yeah. We'll see if Aegis Flames can make it 100% similar and make a comeback.
Yeah, not to mention the drafts being exactly similar. So truly mirror images in this game number 2. Peru Unite going to land on this Regieleki, a very cheeky steal attempt via the hyperspace hole, which does do a little bit of damage, but will not knock out the Regieleki, instead walking down towards that tier 2. Peru Unite now with a little bit of information on their screens. They will be able to see that 3 members of Aegis Flames are fighting that Regieleki, which of course means they're absent from every other part of the map. You see Draken and Kaya playing all over the place, trying to find the other 2 missing Brazil players.
Yeah, on the bottom, we just see again a little bit of vision as they were able to see a few members of Aegis Flames down, again, farming these last-minute birds. The only thing that's really going to be spawning, I believe, in time, that Regieleki certainly won't come back, but this basement Regi could be a big target. It's going to have about 30 seconds left when we get to it spawning, and everybody is down here. You can see, look how far forward this positioning is from Peru Unite. They're standing in this tall grass, but they're visible. You know, you can see them, and they're actually going to initiate. They're going to move in already and just get ambushed. But the thing is, the target is a defender, so they do manage to take on the Sarah Ledge. It's a pretty good win for them. They're all backed up. They've taken a KO each, but this Regirock is almost being ignored from Aegis Flames. They're like, okay, that was enough for us.
Right. Yeah, I think Peru Unite is so happy with that trade. They'll take the Mamoswine for the Sarah Ledge any day of the week.
Yeah.
However, they won't have their defender for this initial positioning skirmish, right? So Rayquaza spawning in about 10 seconds. Aegis Flames does have map positioning, but I think the Armarouge and the Lucario, enough of a disincentive. They actually feel like they have to retreat back to their side of the map. Mondaros with this block has been pretty proficient at trying to steal away an enemy target, but this time just trying to defend that Buzzwole.
Peru Unite coming out. Everybody once again jumping on the south. Who knows what's going to actually hit it? But once again, it looks like it's Peru. Exact same way that it happened last time. Impossible to tell, but we can see the result, and Peru confident in their secure ability. That's a triple for Armarouge. Armarouge certainly was an amazing pick, almost a quadra in this set. This is going to be nearly impossible to come back from. They've got a 350-ish point lead on the side of Peru. There's still a minute and 17 seconds left, though.
Yeah. You can ban Blaziken, but unfortunately Peru Unite has Blaziken at home, which is power-up punch Lucario in the middle of the Rayquaza pit, and it still succeeds. But like you mentioned, Wonder Chef, a minute left. Kay gonna make that a whole lot harder, though, adding yet another Hundo Burger to the final bill. Peru Unite defending against this one very far forward. Zydus and Draken not retreating to their tier 2 for the healing and safety, instead trying to pull single targets away and let Anemo and Draken get to work. Anemo in particular has 2 KOs in a row.
There's an attempt to push here, but 2 members down, 3 members down, and in the meantime, Clefable is going all the way to back cap in the home base. A lot of damage here coming out from who's left of Aegis Flames, but unfortunately it's going to be down to 1, another Hundo Burger. That's going to certainly seal the deal. 26 seconds left. Nobody from Aegis Flames still up on the map. Peru Unite have ended one of the most legendary runs that we have ever seen in UCS, any UCS tournament, but especially a World's Championship tournament. So great stuff to Aegis Flames, but Peru are monsters this weekend.
Peru Unite finding yet another way to level up. I think drafting into this Sarah or a Sarah Ledge composition so extremely well and celebrating alongside the crowd who is here to support this squad. Peru Unite have now hit the same benchmark they have laid for themselves in Honolulu. Yet again, a top 4 spot for them, but different from that one, their potential still unlimited, having a chance to push even farther in this tournament.
Without a doubt, one of our most consistent teams of all time.
Yeah.
They're a team that not only has shown up to Worlds and placed extremely well multiple times, they have shown up to a lot of different international championships and placed well. They really take every opportunity that they can to prove themselves on an international stage at offline events, and it shows. Their level of experience is nearly unparalleled.
Yeah, I love what this team has been able to accomplish this year. Maybe it has been kind of a, a tougher year for them than years prior, right? I mean, it's tough to compare to the year prior. They were just unbelievably dominant in so many events. But now, finding a time to truly return to form at the World Championships here in Anaheim in 2020.